I searched Reagan's body, but all I found, either he'd been bitten by a snake or a very small vampire. There was no doubt that it was Reagan, and there was no doubt that he was dead. The poor sap must have suffocated in the Ankh. One thing had been bugging me since I'd found Reagan's body. In the iconograph that the Count had given me, Reagan was bald. Here, in the flesh, Reagan had a full head of hair. I had to pull hard on his toupee to get it off. Reagan must have glued it on to stop it from flying off as he drove the carriage. Underneath the toupee was a small key. I guess it must have been important, or he wouldn't have glued it to his head. Reagan had a small key under his toupee. It was basically glued onto his head, so I guess it was important to him. Shouldn't you have stopped me by now?
What?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm practically into the palace itself, and you haven't even asked who I am.
We can already tell you aren't important.
Not important? I might be a foreign spy.
Accent's too clean for that. I'd say you were born here in Ankh-Morpork.
How can you tell?
Accents. He knows them all.
Ah, hidden talents, eh?
We're guards. All our talents are hidden.
So, you're members of the illustrious Palace Guards, are you?
Illustrious? Do you know what it means to be a palace guard? We're arrow fodder. If anyone with half-decent skills breaks into the palace, you'll be picking our limbs out of the tapestries.
So why do you do it?
It beats being in the City Watch.
And the uniforms are much nicer, too. You used to be in the City Watch, didn't you?
You can tell that from my accent.
Would I lie to you?
So, you're an expert on accents.
Oh, yeah. I can tell all sorts of things about you.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
From the stress in your voice, I'd say you experienced a major emotional event about 8 years ago. You like to drink, but if you're not careful, you drink to excess. And you like whiskey.
That really is incredible. Anything else?
That's about it.
You didn't say which part of the city I was born in.
No. That's trickier.
You can tell that I drink whiskey from my accent, but you can't tell which part of the city I was born in.
Well, it comes and goes.
You don't know anything about accents, do you?
Of course he doesn't. He just has a good memory.
You were in the bucket a couple of years ago. You were probably too drunk to remember it.
A couple of years ago, I was too drunk to remember anything. So if you don't know anything about accents, how do you know I'm not a threat to the palace?
If you knew what it was we were guarding, you'd understand.
Is it really that dangerous working for the palace?
Oh, yeah. Our lives could come to a bloody end at any moment.
He's lying, of course. He's always lying. No enemies have ever entered Ankh-Morpork since it was founded.
What about the dwarf attack in the reign of Veltric II? Or the barbarian invasion in the time of Webblethorpe the Unconscious?
Well, of course, technically, we've been invaded quite frequently, but, you know how it is. The guys arrive, they meet a nice local girl, and anyway their leaders suddenly don't want all the big houses burned down because now they own them, and they find sleeping on real beds is a treat after all that time in the saddle. And what with one thing and another, it all ends peacefully.
In other words, you don't have much to do.
Well, there's a lot of standing around to do, but it's not like the golden age of the kings of Ankh.
The Golden Age?
Well, it was a time long enough ago that no one can remember how wretched it was.
What is it you're guarding?
Every way into and out of the palace has to be guarded, and we guard one of those.
That's a little vague.
We guard the vital export of post-palatial merchandise.
We guard the trash heap.
That's what I said, wasn't it?
Where is it?
The trash heap? It's around the corner.
But don't steal anything. That's palace garbage. By royal appointment.
Well, by the patrician's appointment.
That's good enough for me.
Do you know a lot about the kings of Ankh?
Oh, sure. The whole history of the monarchy.
How come?
Oh, hanging around palaces. You pick up that kind of thing.
What happened to the kings of Ankh?
Well, the real line came to an end about 2,000 years ago. And after that, we got 17 centuries of a monarchy where the crown was available to anyone with enough soldiers and a strong stomach.
That couldn't have been very stable.
Stable? Ha! Not many lines survived more than 2 or 3 generations. Some of them didn't even make it to the end of the coronation feast.
The shortest reign on record was that of Loyola the Arg at 1.13 seconds.
Can't have been much of a monarch.
That's nothing. For a week, Ankh-Morpork was technically ruled by a wasp. And for several days, by the left foot of the high priest of Io, who dropped the crown on it during the crucial point of the ceremony.
The foot was one of the better rulers, apparently. Made good decisions.
Do you know anything about the Varberg crates that were on the Milka?
Do we look like we know anything about the cargo business?
See you around.
If you say so.
If I was going to use the grapple to scale the wall, I needed something that I could aim for and anchor to. If the palace walls were useful for keeping intruders out and keeping the roof in place.
I see Sir has returned.
Sir has.
Who?
I headed back the way I came. I couldn't shake the feeling I was being watched.
I see Sir has returned.
Sir has.
Who would Sir like to see?
Is the Count receiving guests?
No, but he will see you.
I've got a few more questions for you, Count.
Yes, good questions. Go on.
Do you know anything about the crate belonging to the von Uberwalds that was on the Milka?
Please do not waste my time.
I found this key on Reagan's body. I was hoping you knew what it opened.
No, I'm afraid I don't. But I don't think it's for anything in the mansion.
I had a feeling that Mundy's coin was important, and I wasn't about to show it to just anyone. I'll be back later.
I look forward to it.
Ankh-Morpork was home to around 300 guilds, most of which festered in the space between Unseen University and the Patrician's Palace like fungus. From the Assassin's Guild to the Beggar's Guild, everyone a proud group of individuals basking in their mutual arrogance. I hated them for their smugness. I hated their petty bickering. But most of all, I hated that I wasn't part of one. Hello? Open up.
All right. Hold on. What do you want?
Can I come in?
Are you a member?
No.
Then no. This is members only.
Do you know what this is?
It looks like a coin from the early Tsortian Empire to me. Quite impressive. Not exactly valuable, but a nice piece all the same. Should be in a museum, that should.
I could donate it to the guild if you'd like.
Ooh, that would be nice.
Would you let me in then?
No, but I wouldn't dislike you quite as much.
Forget it. You only allow members into the guild?
That's what I said. I wasn't kidding.
What happens if something goes wrong with your plumbing?
What do you mean?
I mean, do you let the plumbers in to fix the problem?
Yes, we do.
Are they members of the guild?
No, we sign them in.
If you signed me in, I could come in, right?
That's right.
Then what do I have to do to get you to sign me in?
There's nothing you can do that'll make me sign you in. I just don't like you.
You don't like me? What kind of excuse is that?
It's the truth.
How else can I get in?
Find another guild member to sign you in, or become a guild member.
Great. So I have to wait around here for a guild member willing to sign me in to turn up.
Don't hold your breath.
How do I become a member then?
You need to find a member of the guild to endorse you.
Never mind. I can spot a lost cause when I see one. I guess that's it for now then.
Good. Don't hurry back.
Temple of Small Gods was Ankh-Morpork's unique concession to all the thousands, perhaps millions, of small gods that the Discworld was home to. Most of the gods were so small they never got worshipped. The spirits of lonely trees, or the places where two ant trails crossed, and they stayed that way because they lacked belief. Give a god belief, one follower or 10 or 10,000, and it grows up from the void into whatever fanciful deity its followers devise. Everyone knows that people need gods to blame for everything that is wrong, or praise for everything that is right. But they forget that every god needs people, too. Inside the temple, a bazaar of fanatics, lunatics, and cultists of all descriptions were trying to sell their faith to prospective followers. 2 salvations for the price of 1. Extra indulgences if you get a friend to join. That sort of thing. The lost and the lonely came here seeking direction. I found it hard to picture Carlotta amongst their number. Who do you worship, then?
Why do you want to know? Who sent you? What do you want?
My name's Luton. I'm a private investigator.
You've been sent by the elucidated brethren of the Ebon Knight to silence me, haven't you? Their plots are so transparent. It won't work. I have protection.
There isn't an elucidated brethren of the Ebon Knight anymore. They were forcibly disbanded.
Disbanded?
By a dragon, as it happens.
Ah, that's what they want you to think. That was all faked, so that they could eliminate all their traitors and go underground. Even as we speak, they are plotting to control the patrician by putting mind-altering drugs in the palace's water supply.
Then it's true. I'd heard that you were the only other person who really knew what was going on.
What do you want?
I just want to learn from you. Only you can teach me what is really going on in Ankh-Morpork.
You don't fool me.
I don't?
You just want to steal all my knowledge and then use it to further your plans of glory.
Ah, but I know that you know that, and you know that I know that. Which means we're at a stalemate. And since you know more than me, you have the advantage in a stalemate, which means that ultimately you'll beat me.
Yes! Yes! I see. You plan to try and use me, don't you? Well, many have tried to use Malaclips, and I have beaten them all.
No, I can't hide anything from you, can I?
Very well, I will let you, for as long as it serves my purposes to do so. What did you wish to know?
Which deity do you serve?
That's a big question. Which deity do you serve?
I don't serve any deity.
Then I don't serve any deity either.
I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours.
Right. You first.
I serve...
You didn't finish.
I am forbidden by an oath of loyalty never to speak aloud the name of the person of the high.
The ancient mystic order of... Yes, I know all about you. I know every conspiracy turnwise of the Wormberg, and all but one conspiracy hubwards of the Great Neff.
Your turn.
I am the proud servitor of Errata, the goddess of misunderstandings, the mistress of mayhem, the countess of confusion, and the duchess of discord.
You know, sometimes I think I'm her servitor, too.
You get a free gold-plated apple if you join this week.
Tell me about the goddess Errata.
There is no goddess greater than Errata. Have you not looked at the world and seen all the confusion and misunderstanding? Well, Who do you think put it there? It didn't happen by chance. Nothing ever happens by chance.
So, every misunderstanding that has ever happened, Errata was behind them all.
Yes. She has started wars, and she has ended wars. Millions have died for the glory of Errata.
And presumably most of them believe they were dying for something else.
Oh, yes. The goddess is shrewd in her ways.
She must be very powerful.
There is no goddess more powerful than Errata.
Then why doesn't she just make everyone into her follower?
Let me tell you something, Luton. Everyone is a follower of Errata. They just don't know it.
How come you know that you're a follower of Errata?
I only think I'm a follower of Errata. I might be a follower of someone else, and I wouldn't even know it.
Errata thinks of everything, doesn't she? You said you knew all but one conspiracy, Hubwards of the Great Neff. What's the one conspiracy you don't know?
If I knew that, I would know all the conspiracies, wouldn't I?
You don't know anything about that one conspiracy.
Nothing.
Then how do you know that there is another conspiracy?
Because when I put all the other conspiracies together, I can see the pieces missing.
In other words, you can tell there's a conspiracy because you can't see it.
Everything casts a shadow, Luton. At least of some kind.
What if the missing pieces are a ruse by one of the conspiracies you do know about to try and distract you from paying attention to what they're doing?
No, that's too far-fetched.
So is there a formal Church of Errata?
I am the formal Church of Errata. I hold her sacred emblem.
And what would that be?
The scarlet totem that I wear around my neck.
And how do you go about joining the church?
I told you! Everyone is part of the Church of Errata. They just don't know it.
Do you know a woman by the name of Carlotta von Uberwald? Have you seen her around the temple?
Oh, yes. I know her. She's part of one of the darkest conspiracies. And they're plotting to take over the world by stealing the lost treasures of Errata and turning them towards a dark purpose. Don't trust her, Luton. Trust no one.
You know about Mundy's murder?
Of course.
Was she here when he was killed?
Yes. Yes, she was.
You with the hat. Have you accepted Anu Anu into your heart?
The name isn't you with the hat, it's Luton. And no, I haven't accepted Anu Anu into my heart. Why should I?
For it is written in the book of Kelpie, he who has not the spirit of Anu Anu in his heart shall have his heart eaten by the Divine One on the day of judgment.
I'll take that chance.
Or you may mock, infidel, but the day of judgment is coming, mark my words. The signs are clear, the omens are unquestionable, the stars are right and the auguries are undeniable.
What about the auspices?
The auspices are fair to light with a small chance of judgment day later in the eon.
I think you're taking the auspice. So, here I am, a fresh punter. Why should I choose your religion over anyone else's?
Because Anu Anu is the true god of gods, more mighty and strong than all the others put together.
About half the gods in this temple alone claim to be the true god of gods.
But Anu Anu reveals himself through his divine miracles.
Such as?
Ever looked at your thumb? Ever really thought about it? Ever considered what you couldn't do if you didn't have a thumb?
Anu Anu is the god of thumbs?
No, but Anu Anu bites away the thumbs of the non-believer.
I'm not convinced. Anything else?
Join the cult of Anu Anu now to receive a free faux pearl statuette of the great god Anu Anu, a $90 value, absolutely free. Be the envy of your friends as they roast in the fires of Sogorop.
Thanks, but I'll pass. So what is Anu Anu the god of?
Anu Anu is above being bound to one single concept or idea. He is power incarnate.
Come on, level with me. What is he the god of?
It's not to be discussed with non-believers.
So this is less of a religion and more of a lucky dip.
Oh, I feel sorry for you on Judgment Day.
You keep mentioning Judgment Day. What do you mean?
Mark my words, it's coming. Darkness and evil shall descend on this city, and fetid corruption shall consume the very souls of the unbelievers. Only the followers of Anu Anu shall be saved.
Darkness and evil? How exactly are we going to tell Judgment Day from any other day in Ankh-Morpork?
By the time you realize what's going on, it will be too late.
It generally is. I asked Mooncalf if Carlotta was in the temple when Mundy was murdered. Frankly, he didn't seem very sure. His face took on a vacant look, like someone trying to remember who won the boat race in the year of the asthmatic antelope.
Yes. Yes, I believe I saw her in the temple that night.
Does she come here often?
She is indeed a regular of the Temple of Small Gods. I myself have lectured her at great length on the virtues of the cult of Anu Anu.
Why does she come here?
Why does anyone come here, Luton? For answers. For absolution. Perhaps simply out of boredom. But mostly for something to give her life a meaning.
What makes you think life has a meaning?
20 million zealots can't all be wrong.
There are 20 million members of your cult?
Not of this cult, but every religion is testament to the quest for meaning, even if our cult is the only true religion.
Don't you feel like you're just servicing a group of selfish, self-obsessed, half-wit deities whose ability to survive without you is considerably less than your ability to survive without them?
Watch your tongue, Luton. Talk like an atheist and you can expect a lightning bolt to strike you where you least expect.
I'll take my chances. Have you heard of the counterweight killings?
I have not.
Nothing at all? Heard about any ritualistic killings in Ankh-Morpork?
Again, I have not.
I was suspicious. Most religious fanatics would have turned the counterweight killings into fuel for their zealous fire. Mooncalf's silence spoke more than words. Not literally. It wouldn't be much of a silence if it spoke. I imagine silences get kicked out of school for that sort of thing. The point was, I was suspicious of Mooncalf. There was something he wasn't telling me. I asked Mooncalf where he was when the murder took place, and he told me he was holding a sermon. Well, I'll be on my way.
I'll be here should you choose to repent. Did I tell you that we're giving away free tea towels to anyone who joins this week?
What was I going to do? Go for a swim? The only non-denominational feature in the temple was a small pool of water in the central atrium. Can we talk, or do I have to play that stupid game again?
Business is slow. We can talk.
Does this key mean anything to you?
Maybe. My memory is so bad when my pockets are this empty.
Do you own this place?
Saturnalia? No. You gotta be...
Who owns it?
I don't... Probably for all...
Is that...
Frankly, as long as I...
Don't you have any...
No.
Time to excuse myself from the table, I think. Hello again, Warb.
Luton!
Do you know what this is?
It's a safety deposit box key. I've seen them before.
Where does it fit?
Probably fits one of the boxes in here.
Maybe I'll see you later. I figured a really good private investigator could do a lot of painstaking research and work out which box belonged to Reagan. But I figured, hey, the guy's a dwarf. So I just tried all the lockers on the bottom row. It fitted into box 39 like a glove. Eventually. Inside was an envelope and a bracelet with carved wooden charms. The plot thickened, and you could already stand a spoon up in it. I didn't need any of the cards, although I would have liked a few to decorate my office. Maybe the Ace of Octograms, the Inquisitor, the Exquisitor, and the irritating habit of finishing off other people's sentences. The envelope had come from Reagan's safety deposit box, and I had a feeling that it was important somehow. The thing was, it seemed to be empty. When I opened Reagan's envelope, I don't know what I was expecting. What I wasn't expecting was to find that the envelope was empty. There wasn't even anything written on the inside.